Hello, welcome back to Artoves Dev Chunks. Thank you so much for staying here with us and continuing this series. I've had few issues with my computer hardware and I've heard complaints about my voice quality not being so clear. I've got something for you guys. I hope that this new hardware is going to improve the voice quality at least for you to understand well. So, let's jump right into what we're here for. We have already been programming few of the patterns that are quite tedious, and we did program a quite a tedious pattern in the last series. But here we have another one, and this one is really the toughest up till now. So this needs to be simplified. It's really messy. Let's just divide these into two portions. Now, how does we need to do this? Since this is a bit tedious, I will not dig deep into the fundamentals of how these rows and columns are managed and how these things need to be taken care of. I would just pay attention to bringing this output on the screen with the perfect logic that you can do. I'll also be showing you a new loop that is called a do while loop in this series, and you can experiment with the code and do whatsoever you like with the code, play with it, build something interesting. So let's just start with it. So in this series, we see again we can divide this complete pattern into different sections. First, we need to take care of this green triangle and the stars within it. We have already learned how to make this pyramid or this pattern in the earlier series. If you have not seen those, I would recommend you to go through them first in order to understand the fundamental concepts and then come back to this series to go forward. After we have dealt with this green star, then we need to deal with these spaces in the green triangle. That will complete the 1/4 section of a complete pattern. Then we need to deal with this red triangle spaces. And after that, similarly, we need to deal with this triangle in the red star. But see, you see here, this one star which is overlapping is the problem here. So we need to keep in mind that this star has already been included in the green star triangle. So we need to omit that in the second red triangle. So this actually completes the first half of our section. Now, similar to the previous example we discussed, this black portion or the black row has already been taken into account. I'm sorry, fumbling. So this has already been taken into account. So we need to start the next section with row equals to 1, not row equals to 0. So, oops, these two black stars are also taken care of in these pyramids. So in the next section, we do not need to take care of these two. So let's jump into the yellow star pyramid. So you see the similar patterns. You need to take care of this star, then we need to take care of these spaces, then this spaces, then these stars. But now again, you see this triangle down below that is taken care of in the yellow triangle, so we do not need to include it in the purple one. So all this stuff can be done easily with a bit of concentration. So let's not waste time, we have a lot to do. So let's jump right into IntelliJ. Here we have IntelliJ open and the project from the last exercise. We have the source folder. Now here I'll show you one another way to create a new class. You hold on Control key and press N and you get the same menu. Just press enter and it asks for a new Java class. You can give it a name as Pyramid 8. You can give it any name according to your preference, but I'm naming it according to the series I'm preparing. So just press OK, and here we have our public class. As always, we start with a public function. I'm using the code completion feature. If you don't have an IDE, I would recommend just typing it out. Public static void main string args. This is the main function. Now, since we have two sections, we will take care of this section with an outer loop and this section with an outer loop. So we need two for loops. We need two for loops. For I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. This is the first section. We need the second section. So for I. Now this time I starts with 1. Why? Because as I told you, this area has already been taken care of. So starting from here, I is incremented by 1. So I starts with 1. So I here starts with 1 and goes up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it goes up to 5. I'm sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 rows. Since we have these two sections now, what we need to do is focus on the inner loops. Oh, this is getting quite problematic. So first we need to focus on these stars. Actually, these stars. What's happening with me? Gosh. It's raining out there, so I think, well, so we need to focus on these green stars first of all. We have learned already how to create these things. We use a for loop where j starts with 0, j starts with I, goes up to the value of less than 5, and what it does is prints out stars. So this has been taken care of. I equals to 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 actually. There's something really wrong with me right now. So please excuse me for that. So now we need to take care of these spaces. Now these spaces, it starts from 0, goes up to I. But you see here there are no spaces. So it does not start with 0, it starts with 1. It starts with 1 and goes up to I. So we need another for loop for these spaces. These are S, starts with 1 and goes up to equal to I. What it does is it prints out spaces but without ln. The next thing we need to take care of are these spaces. So how did these spaces come in? So you see here they start from I equals to 2. So they starts with 2 and goes up to what? Goes up to I. Simple. So it starts with a for loop where SB starts with 2, goes less than equal to I, and what it does is prints out spaces. That's all. Now we have created these three things. Now we need to take care of this red triangle. This is the most tedious part out here. See that this black triangle has already been taken care of. Otherwise, programming this would have been really simple. So what's the problem here? Let me explain it to you. If you observe carefully, this triangle is a usual triangle we have been printing lots and lots of time now. You start from 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. But the problem here is that since this has already been taken care of, the first row has 4 stars and the second row also has 4 stars, and then it decrements accordingly. So what we need is to crack that if the starting row or the row number is equal to 0, then we need to print 4 stars. And after that, we need to start from 4 and goes down and down and down as the pattern we have always been printing. So let's just do that. How are we going to do that? First of all, you need to define a variable named k, which is of type integer. Now we are going to use an if-else clause. And what does this does? Now, if a situation is true, this is going to execute. Otherwise, this is going to execute. So what do you want to check? We want to check whether I equals to 0. If the row number is 0, then k should be 0. Else, k should be equal to I minus 1. This logic is perfectly fine. How? You see, if I equals to 0 means row 1, then k is also equal to 0. So it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, less than 4. And in the other case, when I becomes 1, then the value of k will be I minus 1. That will be 0 again. And it will again go from 0, 1, 2, 3, less than 4. So here we fix our problem. Now what do we need to do is use a loop to print out k. So we are going to use a new kind of loop which is called the do while loop. So we say do, then we do what we want to do inside those curly braces, and I'm going to print stars till when this loop is going to continue. You define that in a while loop, and we need to do that till k is less than 4, and we end it with a semicolon. So do this, print stars while k is less than 4, but this loop is never going to end. So we need to increment k each time we are inside the loop. So for the first time, k equals to 0, it starts from 0, prints a star, becomes 1, prints a star, becomes 2, prints a star, till k is less than 4. It goes up again, then k becomes I minus 1 and again prints stars again and again and again. So this is taken care of. Now what we need to do is go to the second section of this thing, this pattern. So how do we do that? We have already taken care of the outer row. So first of all, we need to take care of these. Now you see again, this section or this star has already been taken care of. This also has been taken care of, so we'll remember that for that too. So we need to start with I equals to 1 here. Simple, nothing much more complex. So we start with a for loop where j starts with 1, goes less than equal to I. What it does is prints out without ln stars. That's it. After this do is over, we also need to skip the line by using an empty blank line. I forgot that. So we printed our stars here. Now after that we need to take care of these spaces. So again, let's see how does this work. It starts from I. So when I equals to 1, it starts from 1, 2, 3, goes up to less than 4 or equal to 3. It starts from I equals to 2, 2, 3. So quite simple. We write a for loop. This is spaces, starts with I, goes up to less than 4. What does it does? It starts printing spaces, so it prints spaces. What's next? Next is this portion, these spaces. What does this do now? It starts with I. Starts with I equals to 1. Goes up to 1, 2. Then, actually, oh, what does it do? Then it starts with I, goes up to less than 2. 1, 2. Then 2, less than 3. So, for I, S equals to, starts with I, goes up to less than 3. What does it does? Prints out spaces without ln spaces. So that's taken care of. Now the most important thing again, this triangle. Now this has already been taken care of, so we need to start with one that we have already taken care of. Actually we haven't, so we're going to do that. We are going to, actually, let's just be here. So we'll do that. Now in this case, like the previous one, this star has already been taken care of. So again we have the same problem. We have 4 stars, then again 4, 3, 2. So we need to take care of this. Now in this case, when I becomes 4, it starts from 1, 2, 3, 4. When I is equal to 4, then k needs to be I minus 1, or whatever it needs to be. Now how does it start? It starts from 0, goes up to I. So 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3. Again, it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. Oops. So here k needs to be equal to 1, not 0. So that is all we are going to do. So again, we use if else. Now what does if else does here is, if I equals to 4, then k needs to be equal to 1, else k needs to be equal to 0. What we do is, what do? We print out spaces. No, we print out stars. Without ln, we print out stars. And we need to increment k. Till when? While k is less than I. Equal to I actually. So when I equals to 1, k equals to 0. So it is 0, 1. And similarly this goes on. So I think we have completed our program. All we need to do here is just skip a line. Oops, this out. And I think we are done. Just let us try it out. Run. We go for program 8. It's making it. Oops, there's a bit of error. What is this error actually? Prints it. Should print 2 stars here. Starts from 1, goes up to less than equal to 5. Should start with 0 here. Then I will be able to print the stars. Yep, we fixed our problem. So we have it. Well, thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe. For any queries, please comment below in the comment section. And goodbye for the next time.